Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Fearless Cummings here. We are. I think I don't know if I'm riding solo or not today, but man, it is amazing to see you guys. I haven't been on here in quite some time or whatever. So give me a minute. All right, I have to check myself out on here. All right, but either way, welcome to Trial and Error, the Fearless Edition. Hold on, let me move my camera, all that good stuff. Hold on. Sorry, I usually Brian comes on and knocks all this stuff out. I ain't trying to throw my man up under the bus, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know. He's kind of MIA at the present moment in time, so it kind of is what it is right now. But it's all good. We'll get it figured out. How are you guys? Man, I had to make sure I was okay. Man, I haven't been here with you guys in a little bit, man. Goddamn. Okay, so today we are going to talk about. Today we're going to talk about how to juggle more than one thing at the same time. So like, how do you run two podcasts at the same time? How do you have an idea and run them both at the same exact time? And today I think that we have a few tools and tips and tricks or whatever on how to kind of manage that. And so either way, I'll see you right after this our little intro. See you in a minute. What's going on? My name is Fearless Cummings, and welcome to the solo bolo edition of Trial and Error. Usually, I got my guy Brian with me. I don't know what is going on with that dude at this present moment of time, but we are here. No matter what, man, we got to keep it pushed. We got to keep it moving, no matter what. And it's kind of like a segue into what we're going to be discussing today, which is how do you juggle a couple different things or whatever. For some of you who may not know, I have a couple different things. I have a coaching and service and company called Dad Don't Panic. And Dad Don't Panic is about helping dads to breathe a little bit, vent, cry, and get whatever out. It's mainly more like a coaching service for kind of dads on the go, man. I just finished doing 100 days of live videos not too long ago, and one of the things that I consistently get asked on a consistent basis, mainly from dads, is like, how do you do all this? You know, how did you do that with with family and work and this and the other? And I told him all the time, like, man, like it was difficult a lot. I still just did it anyway, right? I mean, it wasn't like I had an excuse because I didn't. I just, hopped on, hit the record button, and just went with it. And so that's kind of what Dad Don't Panic is or whatever. And then I'm also in the works of doing another one for books, man. For most of you who know me, know that I am an avid reader. Like, here's an avid reader, and then here's like a psychopath with reading. I'm more like up here. Like, I love to read. I don't like reading. I love to read. Like yesterday, I just read. I literally sat down and just powered out this book, James Baldwin's "If Beale Street Could Talk." This thing was absolutely amazing. I score everything from a 1 to 5. I scored this one a 4.7 out of 5. High regards. Like, this book was, oh my god, oh man. And I think it's there's a movie about this on Netflix or whatever. So for those of you who don't want to sit down and read for hours, here you go. Boom. This and the other. So hello, hey, what's going on, Brian?
Hey, man, I was caught up working on some stuff, man. Lost track of time.
Yeah, you're good, sir. You're good. Again, though, one of the things that I was just kind of talking about was that no matter what, you got to still keep moving, keep going. This and the other, whatever. So, hello, how are you? Today's topic, um, it's kind of juggling your passions, and one of the things that I was talking about for myself is doing the Dad Don't Panic, which is a coaching services for dads. It's like especially for a lot of us who feel like life has just kind of left us behind, and it has not.
Hmm.
I'm 40. I'm 46 years old, and the older I get, the more I go out and try to do a little bit more than I did. I'm saying the last 30 years before that, the last 20 years before that, because it's absolutely amazing. At least I think to get a little bit older, man, because I in my 20s I didn't think I was gonna live this long. The shit that I was doing, man, I thought I would either be. Here's the thing. I can't say that I thought that I would be dead or in jail. I can't say I thought that because I didn't. I didn't think anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I never
Yeah.
thought that I would get to the age of 46. I never thought that I would end up having a 13-year-old kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never thought that I would live that this long. And now that I have, I'm like, this is amazing. I can say a little bit more. I can do a little bit more. And then being in my late 40s, it's amazing because it's kind of like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think I get excused for certain things that a youngin probably wouldn't get away with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But somebody a little bit older, a little bit more seasoned, I'm like, man, it's just an old head. Ain't nobody worried about him. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, like I'll give you an example, like Dope Mans. Remember them shoes,
Hmm.
the Cortezes, bro. So if you go to Nike.com right now, they got them where you can build your own, right? And for those of y'all who can't see, it's what is these things called pop marks or whatever. And my watch and all that stuff. I love the
Hmm.
color red, love it. My car is white and red. It's white and red all on the inside of it. But I got a brand new, fresh pair of red and white Dope Mans. Oh my God, they're beautiful. But again, though, back in the day, I couldn't really. You could, but you saying something.
Right.
Nowadays, in my late 40s, and I don't live in LA, just means that I like red or I like Dope Mans. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I love getting older, and I think that in a lot of I think that in a lot of cases, a lot of us as fathers, we tend to think that the past is the past, and you're not going to do anything more than what's already expected of you. And I'm like, no, that's bullshit.
Right.
Gotta do you gotta find that thing that works for you. And it's not even about finding it, it's uncovering it and doing it because you already know what it is. I love to read. Like love to like let me show you this. Hold on. The camera can follow me a little bit. I want to show you. I want to show you this. Do you see all these? Here, hold on. I'm gonna turn it around. I'm gonna turn it around. I'm gonna turn it around. You see all these books?
Yeah.
Like here, I'm going to get on right. You sorry. Okay, do you see all these? And then there's even a few more that you guys can't see or whatever. But I read all of these within like the last like month and a half. It would have been more or whatever. I just didn't have the time during the daytime to sit down and knock them out. And majority of these books I've read within like a day. And so the reason why I'm telling y'all this is not to be a bragger, but to tell you that there's certain things that I absolutely love about life, and reading is one of them.
Hmm.
And one of the things that I'm consistently trying to tell fathers and moms too, don't get it twisted. or whatever, right? Because we wouldn't be here without you wouldn't be here without coming through the womb of a woman. Period. Um, but my point is that if you really want something and it means a lot to you, I guarantee you it's gonna mean a lot to somebody else too. And I think that by by how does it go? Fortune's the bull. How does that go?
Um,
I just heard that either today or last night. Something fortune's the bull. What is it? What it's something, man, I gotta look that up. Hold on, give me a second.
okay.
But anyway, hold on, something fortune's the bull. What is it? Fortunes Fortune favors the bull or the
Oh,
bull.
fortune favors the bold. Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And I think that again, most of us don't try shit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the reason why a lot of us don't try stuff is what I would call the ABCs of self development. And the C, one of the C's, because it's kind of ambiguous because
Mhm.
it comes kind of goes and comes or whatever. But it's comparison. We're always comparing ourselves
Yeah.
and comparing our successes and our failures to everybody else. And what comes easy for you may not come easy for somebody else. And that's usually when you know that that's the thing that works for you. So what I did was I decided to take two of the best things that I love about life and build my life around that, which is coaching and reading. It's my thing, man. And
Yeah.
I love being a dad. I don't like being a father. I love it. So why not help other fathers who may be going through some shit and you need not to, right? So
Right.
I'm here to assist. But either way, man, that's kind of what we're talking about now. I'm gonna send this thing over to you.
Okay. Um, and I can kind of jump in regarding because I was on the vibe of the comparison thing this morning. Um, just reading, and I feel like we live in this weird comparison culture where it's really is bereft of any kind of deeper analysis. We just compare two things,
Yeah.
and it turns into which one we like better. And for me, I'm getting to that point where that's almost the most useless form of discourse where we're just comparing two things
Yes.
to see, because I know there's a level of comparison where it's a survival instinct, right? Like if you compare, sleeping outside versus sleeping in a shelter, you know, you're going to opt towards the shelter. But now we feel like we can't enjoy a thing without having something else to compare it to. And I almost feel like that robs the joy and the experience out of it. And it was weird because it happened to be about basketball players earlier this morning,
Hmm.
comparing to NBA players. And I'm like, well, why can't we just look at their careers in isolation? They didn't necessarily play at the same time. Um, why do we need to compare them? Why can't they just have their own strengths and we evaluate them based on what they brought in, as opposed to this person has to be better than that person? Anyway, so the thing,
Real fast. What is your email again?
um, mail at isellwords.net,
Gotcha. I
mail.
got you. I got it.
And so I wanted to kind of show you guys what I've been working on. Because this week, Fearless, last week, Fearless, we worked on getting the Dad Don't Panic stuff launched, and
Yeah, for sure.
I've been talking about what I'm doing with my Unstuck Session School, um, and really making it a place where people can bring the skills in that they have and figure out how to build a business or monetize those skills and make a little bit of income for themselves.
Right.
And so I'm gonna show you a tool that I was working. I just kind of finished up this morning. I'm doing the instructions now, so if you don't mind, I can show it to you. And
Sure.
I'm still getting the instructions, and some pieces of it may or may not work. But let me pull this up. And I'm going to integrate it somehow. I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to integrate it in my school page. But if you're interested, I can leave my school address. It's $9 to get in, $9 a month to get in. You get a 7-day free trial. But if you want to jump in for a year, it's $50. Basically, you're getting my marketing and consulting brain. And we're trying to build a community of people that either are entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, really want to grow those ideas into viable businesses. So let me show you what I'm working with.
Yeah, please do.
Come on. Here we go. All right. So can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
This is the tool I created for the Idea Lab. Okay. And so essentially I took the most common jobs that you find in the United States and extracted the skills from them. Okay. And so it's really just a little tool that helps you kind of suss out what your skills and opportunities are. Okay. So let's say you got customer service skills. Okay. I've already added those into problem solving, communication, or whatnot. Determine if the customer service skills are intermediate, basic, or advanced. That's going to be your own kind of assessment. Examples how I use the skill, applied it, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And quick win business ideas. What immediate opportunities could you create with these skills? Okay. So if I got problem solver, communication, sales techniques, and customer service, this is kind of selling digital products. Okay. Now, I know this. I could do this off the top of my head. The tool is supposed to help you kind of figure out what your quick win business ideas are. All right. And then ideas to scale it up. Okay. So this is the first tab. Then you kind of put in your information. And some of the stuff isn't connected. So some of this is going to be a little bit more automated. Okay. But explore opportunities. So I've taken different jobs that people commonly work and talk about how you can kind of flip them into viable side hustles and stuff like that. And so like a home health care, personal care aid, these are like companion care, respite care, stuff like that. And then how you scale it up. Private home care agency, elder care counseling, caregiver training programs, and kind of gives you a framework on how much to charge for each one of these. So retail salesperson, personal shopping. I've seen a lot of people are flipping that into a skill using those apps or whatnot. And you could scale that up into an online personal store with specific products and specific niches. So are you seeing how this kind of, so this is what this is what I've been working on. General operations manager, leadership planning coaching, quick wins, business coaching, $100, $100 to $300 an hour, process improvement consulting. And then you scale it up, management consulting firm, interim executive services, business plan development, stuff like that. And so these are all the different opportunities these are all the different venues that I came up with. Explore different. See, this is the part that I need to automate a little bit because some of these buttons aren't working. So that's one thing I'm working on here.
Okay.
And then you can kind of do an evaluation, add a business opportunity you want to evaluate. Let's say customer service consulting. Okay. How well does this match your existing skills? What's the market demand? And so basically it's basing all these assessments off of the information I put in earlier. And then you could kind of say, how excited are you about this opportunity? Okay. And then now you go to the next one, and then you can kind of get to plan what your offer is. So you get to define what your offer is, discover the skills you need to learn to make it, design your minimum viable product, create the assets that you need. And so basically it's giving you a way to go from ideation to launch. And then at the end of the day, you can track it and you can add a new test or create a new plan. And so that's what this tool is. And so I'm creating a couple of the automations today. I got a client meeting later on, but connecting some of the bits and pieces behind the scenes to make this thing actually more of an automated tool. And so ideally the concept behind this thing is you can drop an idea into here, drop your skills into here, and it helps you create a business.
Hmm.
And so that's what I've been working on.
Okay. So yeah. So is it up and running? Is it work?
It's up and running. There's a couple pieces that I need to put in there, but it's live now. I'm gonna be having it as add on to my school. Tool is going to be utilized for the people that are in my school community to get their businesses launched, because I have a whole class and framework behind you implementing this tool. Really, it just takes a lot of the stuff we talk about and makes it kind of plug and play, as opposed to having to go through each different class session.
So this thing is live and ready to go right now.
Yeah, this is live and ready to go right now.
Okay, so let's do it right now.
All right.
No, I'm talking about me.
Okay, so you want me to send it over to you?
Send it over to me.
All right. I'll drop it.
Unlock it.
I'll drop it into the chat.
Put it through, and so people can see exactly how it works. Just like I did with my stuff with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, hey, I just need you to go in. Yeah, for sure. Same thing.
So I dropped it in the chat. See if you can access it, because I think I made it public facing. And here's the thing. So while Fearless is pulling that up, guys, what I'm trying to say is
I got
it. You got it?
Yeah.
A lot of times when we sit down and look, and I know a lot of people, not everybody's going to be wanting to start a business or whatnot, but sometimes it even helps to know what your skills are so that you can negotiate from a position of power, right? If you know what marketable skills that you're bringing to the table, it makes those conversations a lot easier. And so you can take your skills that you currently have and really say, okay, this is what I'm really good at, and this is what people could actually pay me for in the open market. And then you can use that to negotiate a larger salary for yourself, or even a starting salary for yourself.
Okay. So is that what I would write? Like coaching, reading?
Yep. And you have the skills at the bottom too.
Okay. And then I'll use, okay.
And that's one of the pieces I have to automate, because I think I have to build a couple of scripts to suss out like what people put their own stuff in there, because I used the framework of the most common occupations in the world.
Okay. Problems. Oh, okay. So I can take that one off, customer service. Yeah, I guess. Problem solving. Okay. Time management. I'm okay with that. I guess. Can also say that. We'll say. Can I put in coaching too?
I think so. Hit enter. See if that works.
Yeah, I guess it did. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, here's a very powerful one that most people don't talk about. Okay, boom. So this one here, I would put up there examples of how you've used the skill. For
like the quick ideas, I think you get those from a little bit later on. Like I'm still working on the instruction piece of it. So hold on one second, because I have my instructions are written out. Okay, and so now after you get all that, then you go to the Explore tab.
Okay, quick win business idea. What immediate income opportunities could you create with that skill? Okay. How could you scale this into a larger business? Okay.
Okay, and so go back up. If you go back up, you can switch between tabs and see how each one of you see up where it says explore.
Oh yeah. Okay. Explore. Okay.
Browse job profiles and quick wins and opportunities or whatnot. And so this is just not, if you don't really have an idea or framework, these are the most common jobs that you can use to really figure out what your quick wins and figure out how to scale it up. Because I think a lot of people get hung up there. You know, even as like a fast food worker, how can you scale that into a business? You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And so if you click on more opportunities, it's going to drag more in there.
And more opportunities where.
At the bottom, you were just over it right there. View all opportunities, I should say.
Okay. Um.
And see, this is the part I need to finish out automating. That's what I was working on. Because it's not responding exactly the way I wanted it to.
No, it's not responding at all.
That's what, and so I have to go back and work on that, the matrix part of it.
Okay. What about the evaluate?
All right, enter a business opportunity. So this is where you would be copying and pasting some stuff. So put life coaching in there. Let's see what it does. All right. And so it's basically weighing out against what your skills, what your current skills are.
Now it just says I'm average.
Yeah, but now you can kind of adjust how well do you think, you know, it's your assessment. How well do you think this opportunity matches your existing skills? You're very high because that's what you're doing right now. And so we adjust it up. So this is largely a self-assessment kind of tool. What do you perceive as the market demand? I got to clean that one up because you're not going to really know what your market demand is until you actually test it. Ease of delivery and stuff. And so basically this is supposed to give you your ideas that you're supposed to have. And now you can define your offer. So click on expand. And so this is the piece.
Yeah. Well, you got some. Hey, Brian, I ain't gonna lie to him. You got some work to do on that one.
Well, no, click on what. Yeah, that's what I was telling you. I wasn't right. I said it's up and running, but it's not ready.
Okay.
So go up. That's what I was working on before it came down. Go to evaluate where you were. Add that opportunity again. Add life coaching again because there was something I was trying to get you to do. I wanted to see if it was working.
Okay.
And I needed somebody outside to look at it. Click add. Okay, scroll down. All right, keep scrolling. Okay. Because it's using some of those skills that you inputted earlier to assess it, but this is the large self-assessment stuff, but this is supposed to automatically assess it for you. So that's the piece I was trying to see. Scroll back up a little bit, Fearless. Up a little bit more. And then let's go to the last tab because I want to see what it comes up with all the way up.
Track.
Or actually, let's do plan. Let's go to plan first. Okay. Click on expand where it says define your offer. Okay. Click on expand next to design your MVP. Focus on core value. See, this part is working the way I wanted it to. There's a couple of automated pieces that I need to go back and recode. Create assets. Yep. So it's walking you through each step of a launch. And then you could add notes to it as
Okay.
you go along. And then I think there's one more tab at the top. So, like I said, it's online, but it's not exactly 100% ready to go. So go to
Gotcha.
track. Go to track. Yep. And so I want to see what happens when you add new tests. Does that do anything when you click on it?
No.
Okay. And then create scale up plan. Click on that. Because those buttons, if those buttons don't work, then those are two more things I got to do.
No, they don't work.
So it's a tool that I'm still working on. And there's a couple of things on the back end that need to get automated a little bit more. But the idea, the concept behind this is a tool that's going to allow you to kind of plug in what your basic skills are and flip it into give you a couple ideas to launch your business.
Gotcha.
And so it's still, like I said, that's why I was saying there's aspects of it that aren't 100% finished, but now I got a chance to see what buttons aren't working for you, because some of the stuff that was working on my end wasn't working on yours.
Okay.
So yep.
I love that, man. That's kind of tight. And again, though, I mean, I bet that the people would want to see something like that too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, nah, man. If you talk about it, pull it up. Let's go. Let's see. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's see how well it works.
Yep.
Because again, I mean, just like when I was building my stuff out, that's why I hit you up like, hey man, check this out. I took all the payment things off. Hey, just start downloading. Let me know what you think. You like, oh yeah, no, that's cool, that's cool. I had somebody else do the same thing. Check it out. Oh yeah, that's cool, that's cool. And then I had another one of my friends that to go through and check it out too. She found all kind of mistakes in my stuff, all like everywhere. And she found horrible mistakes that y'all didn't catch, but she did.
Yeah.
And again, that's the reason why you want to have more than one person looking at your stuff. Like you gotta have, to me, a litany of people looking at your stuff to let you know exactly where you are and all that stuff, man. Like you got to.
Right.
You got to know where you are, because again, like I said, like you're gonna look at it like, oh, okay, yeah, this is tight. But my friend actually went through and read every single one of them and told me exactly, like, she's like, there was probably there's probably close to 7 of those principles that I built. I'm gonna go into my thing right quick so I can get that to people. But there's close to like 7 of them things in there that sorry, give me 1 second. There was like close to 7 or 8 of those different things that were in there that were the same. You know what I'm saying? So I had all the principles in there, but a lot of them were exactly the same. So if you guys want to check my thing out, here you go. Matter of fact, I will go in and show you guys kind of what we hold on 1 second, what we got going is as well. So you guys can see like everything that that Brian and I be talking about, like it's for real. We're not just talking about, hey man, like this is what y'all should be doing. Like, no, this is what we do. Like, so it's not like we're just sitting around talking about it. But so the first one is the Fearless Code of Finances. This is some of the principles that I use to get myself out of homelessness and stay out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 33 principles for dad to lead. This is for, I don't know, we would deliver this. right to your inbox. I don't know if I like that. I probably change that out. But it's like 33 different principles that I use for my life, like now and stuff that I teach my kid too, or whatever. So it's not just a thing that of just being a father. It's a father who leads, which doesn't mean that like you're the king of your household or this that, and the other. You got to lead yourself before you try to lead somebody else. So and this is some of the stuff that we're talking about, and then we got the 45-minute coaching call up here with me as well. As you can see, like Tuesdays, I do not. Um, hold on, let's. I don't. I think I swapped my Tuesdays out. Yes, that's why you don't see it. Hold on, what is today? Today is Tuesday, whatever. So what's it's not in there. So like Tuesday mornings will probably be taken off the board because of what we're doing with uh, myself and Brian here. But this is kind of this real. I like everything I do simple, real cool, simple. So again, if you got a business or you're selling something, this is what I use. Right? I use this thing called what is this thing called, bro?
Stand store.
Stand store. And again, so here you go. I'll probably have to change that picture up because I don't like that picture. But like, yeah, man, it's just some real cool stuff in there. If you need Chat GPT to help you guys to write some of your stuff out, dude, have them do it. But like, yeah, if you need to know anything about me, all my information's basically right there. Like it's I love that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all done. You know what I'm saying? So when you're looking at your stuff or whatever, this is kind of and to again, it's simple as shit. And I think that that's why I like it so much, is because it's simple.
Right.
I don't like convoluted. I don't like complication. I like everything I do to be real simple. So my website, for the most part, that's kind of what that is. It's gonna be simple. Everything I do is
Right.
gonna be real simple stuff. So like yeah, so I mean, but yeah, but and that's kind of the whole thing. So kind of getting into what we were talking about before, or what our thing is juggling our passions. I wanted to ask you, um, as I'm kind of doing this thing or whatever, is it possible to build not I don't know about a community, but a page on my Facebook specifically for books?
Yeah. I mean, it's not hard. The thing that determines whether you want a page or a community, whether is based on whether you want to interact, if you want people to interact with you directly, or just see and comment, if that makes sense. Because one allows people to generate their own posts and maybe generate their own book recommendations, and the other one would be just them reacting to stuff that you post.
Hmm. Okay, so then the community is based on everybody kind of doing their thing,
Yep.
this and the other. So can I have a community and a page
Yeah.
for that?
Yeah, you can.
For the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, hold on one sec. Okay. All right. So yeah. So I was thinking about doing something like that or whatever. So basically, it's the same thing that I did before with the Dads Don't Panic, right?
Right.
Okay. And so you said I can create a page, and a community to go with it.
Yep.
So
And I think there's a way to link the two. Like you can actually create the page and then generate the group slash community from the page. I think. Don't quote me on that one. Where the two things kind of work together.
okay. Well, yeah, I would like to. Um,
Or the community or the page can actually be the admin for the page or the community. Does that make sense? So the name of the page, the name of the book page would actually be an admin in the group that you create.
okay, so what? Okay, so here's what I can you see?
Let me add it to the stage.
It's already added. I just added it.
Oh, it wasn't on mine for whatever reason. So
Mm.
yeah, I can see it now.
Okay, so now how do I here? Let me clear out of that. Okay, so how do I create another page?
I mean, the same way you created this one. Are you creating it from your main account? Because here's the thing, and this is where it gets confusing.
Okay, give it to me.
So when you create a page, the page ends up becoming like its own persona for you. And
Okay,
so you're shuffling between your private, your main profile page, the persona of your main profile, and the persona of the pages you create.
okay.
So I need to see where you're at, is what I'm saying. So are you online as Dad Don't Panic, or are you online as Fearless? I think you're online as Dad Don't Panic.
Right now I am.
All right, so
That's what this is.
go up to the little the
Like,
squares. Yep,
it's right here.
yep, and click on groups. Is that what you're trying to do? Right, you're trying to create a group.
I mean, I don't. Again, that's why I'm asking you. I have no idea. I just want to go in and make videos and talk about books.
Okay, so I would go back to your main profile. So go up to the top where, yeah, right
Home.
there. Yep, click on that because this is under Dad Don't Panic. So click on that.
Oh,
Bring the
you mean
drop down
like
back.
go back over here?
Yeah, so that it's not all under Dad Don't Panic, because anything you create on that tab is going to be under Dad Don't Panic. So now
Gotcha.
go up to that. Go back up to that. That the box right there, and
Okay.
then click on whether you want to create a page or a group. It doesn't matter which. I don't think it matters which one you
Which
create
one
it
can
from.
I? Which one can I make? Which one can I make?
Admin.
No. Which one can I do videos and stuff on?
You can do videos on both of them. The page is more or less for like almost like the page is your storefront, um, and the group page is where all your customers hang out.
Okay. So yeah. All right. So then let's set it up as a group. I mean, let's try to set it up as a page,
Yep,
and then the group.
yep,
Yes.
yep.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh, dude. Okay. So I need to name it something.
Yeah. And so yeah,
Gotcha. Okay.
and going into it, juggling the passions, running 2 podcasts. I'm running like 4.
You are. I've just thought about that.
And so for me, it really is putting everything in its own box and having
Okay.
specific days for stuff and having stuff live on its own platform, more or less. I'm breaking my own rule when it comes to the long boxing while black stuff, because I'm posting that directly on my Instagram alongside my ISL word stuff, just
Okay.
because that was a layer where I'm like, this is too much. This is too much. And I don't really deal with Instagram that much. And so I didn't need to try to be managing 4 different communities on Instagram.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Okay, got it. I found the name.
Okay.
All right, so check this out, dude. So I
Okay.
was thinking. So I was thinking about the name. I had that really long one before, but I don't have that one anymore. So this one will be called the Intergalactic Biblio Troglodyte Book Club.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, if you like the name, I love it.
You said you work it out. You know what the great thing about this is, Brian, is that you've been around me long enough to know that it's gonna be weird no matter what comes out of my mouth, and you just got to be okay with it. All right. So what do we book club, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it.
I don't know if it's gonna let you.
Nah, it did.
Okay.
See, yeah.
And so part of it, guys, is making sure that you have each one of your communities and make it as easy as possible for you to
As
manage it.
easy as possible. And I mean, I love to read, so I mean, me like doing this, I don't really think it's gonna be much. I mean, I don't know. Yes, no. What do you think?
That works. And then what are your images? What's your image gonna be?
Shit, I don't know. I was thinking I'll probably have ChatGPT create me something.
And a bio for it, just so that
Oh yeah.
because you
Uh,
got you have to have a bio to create the page.
um, quick. Hold on. Um, bio. Okay. All right, I'm gonna have chat create me something right quick. Because I know that you can't have too. I know that my bio cannot be too long.
Mhm.
How many? What do they have for bios?
What do you mean?
Hmm?
What do you mean? What do they have for bios?
What's the?
I mean, basically, you're just the bio's just telling what the purpose of the group is, who you are, and what the purpose of the group is.
All right. I was gonna make this thing so goddamn long. Okay.
Sorry, responding to something.
Um. Everywhere. From the heavens. Hey, do you know what a troglodyte is?
Yeah, I think it's Well, no, I'm thinking of homunculus. I know what a troglodyte because I've called somebody troglodytic before. It's kind of like a caveman or something, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. It's a
Yeah.
cave dweller. Yeah. So, all right, boom. I like that. That works. Check this out, bro. I think that this will get your. I don't need your approval, but if I needed it, I think I'd have it. Here we go. Check that out. Can you see it?
I can see it. To share, I like that. Heaven and Cave would like to share our
You know what I'm saying? I love that. I love that, and it doesn't shy away from anyone from anywhere. Um. Okay. So what am I? What is okay? What is it? It's not. Uh, okay. Can it? Uh, oh, okay. It's so okay.
You had
Uh,
to
okay. I mean, I guess you could say school too. Learning. Nope.
fan club. Can you put like a
Ooh,
fan?
fan club. Okay. Fan page. Fan page.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Education. What do you think?
I mean, we can, depending on what the scope of the website is. I mean, it
Uh,
could.
if research, I mean, consultant.
I don't
I
think you
mean,
need.
I don't. Yeah.
I mean, if it's a book club, really, it's a fan page for books. Go back and just type book. I want to see what all comes under book. Bookstore.
Bookstore series.
Yeah, I would. Uh, Bookstore. I mean, you could probably put bookstore because I mean, essentially, the recommendations. I don't know. You're displaying
Fan.
the books.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that one's a little bit harder.
Right. Which you would think that it wouldn't be.
Or put club. See what kind of club. Type in
Oh,
club.
okay.
Huh.
Hmm. Right.
Group.
Group.
Yeah, I'm kind of grasping here.
Yeah, me too. That's what I told you. I put in the one and
Yeah, just leave it like it is.
how about this? I'll take the school off. I'll put booking fan page.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Okay. How about this? Create a simple logo for our book club. Um, throw, sorry, throw some cool colors together. All right, so I'll let it create something, um, and then I'll have it even create a little small, little stuffed animal or some weird shit like that.
Hmm.
Um, for the thing or whatever. I guess I could just have it create a little something for me and um but yeah, so okay, so then after this I can just start posting. Dude, I can almost guarantee you, dude, this one will probably like can you monetize this?
I mean, there's a couple of different ways we can talk about. I mean, you're not directly on Facebook. Well, actually, I mean, posting content like I've been getting paid for videos I posted on stuff, but it takes a little bit of time. You just got to build up an audience for it.
Mm,
But content that you post on these pages, you can get a check from them.
ugh, that is horrible.
Yeah, don't worry about that stuff, the page health stuff yet, because you haven't built out all that stuff yet.
Oh, what? You talking about this right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't tripping on that. I was looking at damn, next. I was looking at the intergalactic space um, spaceship flying with books everywhere.
Are you still on the same page?
No, I've been over. Yeah, I was actually over here looking at the other.
Because I'm still the thing I'm still looking at is the page, the book page,
Mhm.
the book club page.
Yeah.
So, guys, the idea is if you it's compartmentalizing is what we're doing is putting each thing in
Right.
its own in its own container. Because especially when you're trying to juggle multiple IPs and pieces of intellectual property, you unless they actually work together, um, you don't want to cross pollinate because you can really get lost in the weeds with creating content and you can bury yourself up to the neck. And here's the reality. For a lot of people, I would not, unless you have a lot of time on your hand or you have that ability to just shift gears, I would not advise having more than one thing running at the same time, especially when you're just starting out. If you're just starting out, um, it's hard enough to build an audience with one. And trying to do two means your attention is split and it requires double the amount of time.
Right. No, but yeah, I get that. That like a lot, and I mean, but I think though that and that's kind of what I was going to talk to you about too, is because you got trial and error, unstuck, and then you got like 5 or 6 other things going on.
Yeah. I get some that there's ones that I get paid for, and then ones that I'm just doing for and trying to build out an audience for it until we can monetize it. And so that's kind of where I mean it's a challenge. I'm not going to lie to you, and it's going to come to a point where I have to narrow my focus on some stuff. That's just the reality of things. Um,
Right.
Essentially, I think when I get the school community up and running and get this tool finished, I'm gonna have to figure out where the Unstuck brand is going to live, and if it's going to be because I have to create content for it um, in order to drive traffic to it.
Hmm.
And so that's almost a non-negotiable with it. Like I have to create content on Facebook and YouTube to drive traffic. But other aspects of it, I don't know if I'm going to continue on with the format of the podcast as it exists. It may just be short
Right.
form YouTube clips, just because trying to come up with a live stream topic every week is challenging. I know that the live stream for like the co-working stuff on Friday, that's probably going to be a feature of the school community. And so on Fridays, my Fridays are kind of locked up with that, and that's something I have to do. And so it's figuring out what I have to do and what I don't have to do. Plus, I'm gonna probably be taking on a couple of other podcast clients, and so I'm really gonna have to laser focus in on some stuff. Um, Realizing that for me, the comic book and nerd stuff is how I decompress,
Hmm.
and so I'm almost making that a non-negotiable for myself
Okay.
because when I don't have that outlet, um, it's weird because with my ADHD, I tend to hyper focus, and it's all limited by how much dopamine I got in my system at any given amount of time. And so when I hyper focus on something, um, I burn through all my reserves really, really fast. And so if I don't give the nerd stuff attention, I will absolutely go down a rabbit hole where I'm scrolling through wikis and downloading comic books and absolutely just going all in because I haven't given myself an opportunity to like enjoy that part of my interests. And so if I compartmentalize it, put it on Tuesday nights where that's my live stream and that's where I talk about my nerd stuff, then that kind of satiates that piece of it. So it doesn't
Mhm.
take over other parts of my week.
Gotcha.
So
You know what though? I'll say this. Um, I think though, like that for you, um, I think that for all of us, um, you have to find that balance that rejuvenates
Hmm.
or replenishes um, your bandwidth, if you will. You know what I'm saying? For me, it's knocking out book after book after book after book. And not only that though, but I do watch movies. I just played and beat in 2 days that new Mafia game, the Old Country.
Uh-huh.
That shit was whack. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Um, because it's not a free world type of thing or whatever. You know what I mean? It's very stationary where you have to do this. You cannot you can't go any other place. You can't do any other stuff, whatever. You have to do what they want you to do. And I kind of thought that we were past those type of games, but apparently we're not. It's literally almost like playing fucking Mario Brothers.
Oh, really?
Like, dude, yeah, like no joke. I mean, or like Contra back in the day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was
Oh,
very,
the action platformers.
yes,
Okay.
like that. That's all it is. I mean, yeah, the guys look real, but you can't do anything really with them like you would for somebody on Grand Theft Auto or something like that, where it's a free roaming world where you can go make money, you can do stuff, go to jail, this and the other. That game, no.
Oh, speaking of GTA, I heard about this cat. I don't know if he's a young rapper or whatnot. He might be. He started his own custom GTA server, and he charges people for access. And he's clearing like 60,000 a month. And in that private GTA server, so it's a custom version of the game where they get to do all kinds of extra stuff.
Good.
And so he's created a little business, a side business for himself, maintaining and running that server and making sure
Good.
it's up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whenever somebody wants to access it.
Good.
And so,
I
you
love
know,
it.
but the open world games, there's a balance. I almost feel like there's too much open world. Like there's
Okay.
there's almost too many open world games where sometimes there's an open world and ain't nothing to do in the open world. Just or just out
You,
there.
you know what? I just played Assassin's Creed
Uh,
Shadows, and literally just beat that to like the whole game. And like, yeah, like I done everything. I mean, you can go get new skins and this and the other, but I mean, like, and it has like more stuff that you can do. But I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm good. I'm getting bored, kind of just doing the same thing. And so again, I mean, but my first love and my backup to everything is going to go read.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's my backup for everything. And you know, that's one of the things that I try to teach my son is that I'm like, bro, like that's you gotta have something that if the power were to go out, if we have no energy, you can't go in and turn a light on, electricity don't work. You gotta have something that entertains you that has nothing to do with electronics.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, people live thousands of years without having a phone. You know what I'm saying? Without having TV, without having the iPad, without having all of these things that we use to to take our minds off of what you should be probably doing. Or what you could be doing, because I'm like, he's 13. So like, you know what I'm saying? It ain't like he got kids or nothing.
Right.
And so I mean, I remember back in them days, man, everybody everybody read. Everybody. Because there wasn't nothing else to do. They read every bit of that newspaper. All of it.
Newspaper, I mean, they read, and then when radio came out, that was a big thing too. Read and gathered around the
Everything,
radio.
yeah. Gathered around the radio and listened. They were great listeners. Man, that it's so crazy that we can sit and talk about how much of great speakers we are, but how many of us can really say that we're great listeners?
Yeah, I
You know
struggle
what I'm
with it.
saying?
I'm not the best. I have to actually put effort into active listening. That's something that because my mind I generate so many ideas in the course. Like I'll listen to what somebody says, and instantly my mind goes down the trail of how many different ideas can I come up with this idea. Or I'll hear something fascinating, or even a figure of speech, and that word gets lodged in my brain. And so I have to make an effort to actually really focus on the listening instead of just waiting to talk. That's something I learned about myself.
Hmm.
You
Okay.
know, and so
I mean, you better figure it out now before somebody else helps you figure it out.
well, and it's something I learned because I used to have to remember my entire life before this was managing caseworkers and doing intake assessments and everything. And so most of my day was spent active listening. So what happens is when you're forced, like when you have an area that's not a strength and you're forced to live in that place that's not a strength for so long, you end up just adjusting to it, and it ends up becoming something that you're able to, with effort, you're able to lock in and do.
Okay.
And so I learned how to be a better listener through my job, you know. And that was 10 years because I had to actively listen to clients as they were coming in and do those assessments, make sure that my workers were actively listening to what the client's needs were, and identifying safety concerns, sussing them out as they came out in the intake, and actively listening to my workers for areas that I needed them, for areas that they missed or what they needed to develop. And so it
Okay.
was a place I was forced to live for a long time.
Okay.
And so I know it's a skill that it's not a natural skill, it's a skill that I can turn off and turn on. And I realized that in order to be able to maximize it, I have to be in a certain place mentally. Like most of my meetings are either morning or early afternoon. Um, if I have something pop up that's unexpected before a meeting, I have to be real careful about how much time that consumes,
Mhm.
because it will absolutely power through, it will actually chew through my reserves of being
Okay.
able to be the listener I needed to be. And
Okay.
so it's just a balance, man. It's like learning how my dopamine in my brain works.
Hmm.
When I was case manager, when I was managing, managing case manager and stuff, I used to have entire days that were just blacked out for me to focus on paperwork,
Hmm.
like completely blacked out day. It don't, I'm not taking meetings. You can call with emergencies, and that's about it.
Oh wow.
And um, I had bosses that hated it, say you got to be able to prioritize and shift gears. But I'm like, do you want this stuff done, or do you not want it done? Because I make myself available 4 days out of the week. This is the one day I'm asking so that I can make sure everything is right for your documentation purposes so that you can pass whatever accreditation you got coming up.
That part.
So it's understanding how your brain works. A lot of times we're not great about introspecting about ourselves. I've been forced to learn a lot about my brain because I was living in jobs and gigs that weren't necessarily conducive to how my brain worked.
Hmm.
So
I mean, well, yeah. I think that once you kind of figure out what works for you, then it becomes something that just it becomes a lot easier to kind of navigate. And I don't think that you get stuck as much because you understand what your lane is. And again, and it doesn't mean that you can't move out of your lane. There's nobody's saying that you can't do that. All
right,
we're saying is that we have to focus on what's actually what you're good at, where you are, and then we can maybe kind of pivot over there if we need to. And there's nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, that's a great thing to actually do. Um, sometimes whatever. So I think, and again, kind of like we talked about before, the whole thing with Dad Don't Panic. That's kind of what we're discussing as well. Um, one of the principles that I have for the 33 things is kind of what you just said too. Though is that like you have to be willing to know you.
hmm
And how many people are dead or in jail or stuck right now in a situation because they never got the time or took the time to figure out who they were, and they let somebody else do it instead.
yeah. And
You feel me?
people will do that a lot to you. It's the weirdest thing. People will absolutely put you into these boxes, and kind of delineate who you are. And if you
Yeah,
don't spend enough time to identify who you really are, and also embrace, because a lot of times we'll talk about what we're really good at, but we don't spend enough time talking about what we're not good at, or
that part.
areas that we actually need to develop and give an active attention to it.
Mm,
And that's one thing I've always tried to learn is where are my blind spots, so that if I know what my blind spots are, either I can hire that out and hire somebody to work in
yeah,
those blind
for
spots,
sure.
or if it's a skill I need to internalize, learn the skills to actually be competent at the blind spot without having to master it.
That part. That part. And I mean, that's all. And that's really all we're kind of saying, man. It's kind of like we started it off, man. Fortune favors the bold, and fortune is again to me one of those things of understanding where you are and then just walking that path.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think who was it? It was oh my gosh, I think I wrote it down too. This dude said the slickest stuff. Give me a second. He said, hold on, who's the one who said it? Hold on one second. Hold on, dump and go. Hold on. I'm telling you, boy, I be writing stuff down. I'm hold on, being father. Okay. There was a there was a here he is. This is so deep. Man is the only creature who refuses to be what he is. Albert Camus, French
Mhm.
philosopher. I'm gonna say that again because that's so deep. Man is the only creature who refuses to be what he is. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
I mean, when I heard that, I was like, where did I hear this at? Then I was reading a book. Man, I don't know which one it was either. That was funny. But it was so good I had to write it down.
Hmm.
But I just thought like, man, and then it also said, actually in the video game, he said an enemy can hurt you. Hold on, he said an enemy can't hurt you like a friend would.
Yeah.
Yeah, think about that. An enemy can't hurt you like a friend can. Ain't that crazy? And then it got me thinking about something that that Suge Knight said. Suge Knight said, I don't ever have to worry about my enemies because they don't get close enough to me for me to worry about them. He said an enemy ain't gonna take your car. An enemy ain't gonna borrow money from you and not give it back to you. An enemy ain't gonna be trying to mess with your check. An
Right.
enemy ain't gonna be trying to steal from you. You know what I'm saying? An enemy ain't doing all this stuff to you. You know who's doing all this? The people that you keep close to you,
Yeah.
friends, certain family members, people that you keep in your circle are the ones that are going to do this. Your enemies, if you really think about it, they don't want to be around you at all. You know what
Well,
I'm saying? I mean, like they
yeah,
really
that's true.
don't. If
Well,
somebody like, and I that's why it's so cool when people understand that. Like when people say, "Man, I need a bunch of haters," that's cool. That's what's up. But most of your haters come from your inner clique.
well, yeah. And
Not
there's a layer.
outside of them; they're in them.
And there's a layer. This is part of people not being aware of who they are. I do believe that sometimes there's a people aren't really aware of the role that they're actually playing in your world. They
Mm,
may think that they're a protagonist in your story, and they're really antagonist in your story.
that part.
And they aren't aware or don't have a level of awareness about themselves to understand how their actions impact other people. Because I met plenty of people that are oblivious to that fact. Um, and they may be in your inner circle. They don't know that they're sabotaging themselves. More or less, they don't know that they're sabotaging you as well.
Yep.
And so I think that's why I do believe in really vetting out who you interact with on a daily basis. um because sometimes you have that person in your circle that doesn't have any personal awareness about themselves, and they end up hurting you worse than somebody who wants to do you wrong.
Hmm.
So I'm always aware. I'm always really watching people's interactions, watching how they interact with other people, watching how they interact on social media. Um, you know, I've never been into like one personal pet peeve of mine, and this happened to me before. Going out, having one of them guys, nights out, you out with the boys or whatnot, and dude that ain't never really been around the crew is around the crew, and he's sitting there telling us all about his sexual exploits. I don't want to know that shit. I have no interest in your sex life, bro. I just met you. Why are you telling me all this stuff? And
Yeah, yeah.
and to not have that level of awareness, like I don't want to know all these personal disclosures about you, bro. I really don't. You can keep all that. And for me, that's somebody like if they're willing to be that open with that part of it, then they're gonna spread. If I tell them something that I need to hold them to hold, they're gonna spread that all over the planet.
Hey, your business is everybody's business. Don't get it twisted.
And so I instantly said, "Yeah, I am building with
Um,
you, bro."
he said,
Like,
I'm good on this one.
yeah. And
You,
so,
yeah, yeah. No, that's something though, man. And it really sucks too, though, because um, and when you just said that, I just put that in one of the I just added that to the list of principles. If I'm talking to my kid, if I'm telling my kid to do this, and I put in here, vet your circle often.
yeah,
Don't do it when, what I'm saying. Don't do it. Um, hold on. Don't do it when something happens. But you see what I'm saying on that? Like you don't want. I don't think that you want to do that when something is bad going on. I think that that's something that you should be doing.
yeah,
Just in general. You know what I'm saying? Like you should be thinking about, what you bring to people's table as a vote, as well as what they bring to yours. If they're not really doing anything. And again, I'm not necessarily saying that a person has to do something for you. Because I don't think that all relationships need to be transactional.
hmm,
But I do think though that if I'm not trying to help you better yourself and vice versa, what are we doing?
that's true. And that's the balance, though,
You
because
know, I mean,
it's
I don't
not
know.
necessarily transactional. Sometimes it is, but other times it's just in general. If you're not, if every time you come around is gloom and doom and everything's wrong and everything's awful, and you give me a general feeling of malaise and just I don't feel right, it's hard to look forward to interacting with you. And so
Mhm.
I'm not getting anything out of this. I don't have relationships based on what I can get out of somebody. I don't want people to get that twisted. But if you're introducing negativity every single time, and that's all it ever is. And it's that immobile kind of negativity. Where I'm saying you have the negativity and then you don't want to take steps to improve or remove that negativity or advance forward. I have an issue with that. And I can't
Right.
really deal with somebody that wants to dwell and linger wallow in their own bullshit. I don't have time. Like in my interpersonal life, I help out people that are willing. Yeah, I always help out people that are willing to receive and say, hey, yeah, I want to fix this. I need your advice on fixing this, or this is what I'm working on. Let me tell you what my progress is.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
if every single time it's a new insurmountable problem and you want to give away all your power to everybody external to you, and you never want to take any ownership or command of your outcomes, I don't have energy for that anymore. I dealt with that with a lot of families I worked with. And my goal was to give them the tools where they did realize that they had some power within a
Mhm.
situation to transform their lives.
Right.
Um, And so, I don't know. I guess for me, that's a different thing. And so I get where you're going with it, because I don't also necessarily believe, like, when people talk about like dating shit, like, I don't believe that every interaction that you have with every single stranger needs to be transactional based. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you go out with somebody, they're supposed to give you something, or they're supposed to pay for something, or they're supposed to that that obligates them to sex and all. I don't believe in that shit, right?
Mhm.
I don't like, and when I see people talking like that, I realize that for me, it's like, it's a sad life where every interaction that you have with another human being is strictly transactional. Like, to me, that's a sad life to live. But at
That
the
part.
same time, don't just be bringing negative into my world and then you're not looking to fix it. You just want to sit in negative. Like,
Right.
you just want to sit in there and you're looking for an accomplice to your misery. I don't want to be an accomplice to your misery. I got my own issues I'm sorting through. I can't be drugged down by your own issues.
Right.
And I already have a bad habit of absorbing other people's moods.
Mm-hmm.
And so if your mood is down every single time and nothing ever works and you're not willing to try anything, you just want to sit in that space, I can't exist. I can't exist with you.
Right.
So
I mean,
that's my
no, but no, but that, and again, though, I think that we do a lot of that, in general, and again, like I try to tell people, I mean, like, it's unfortunate. I think it all depends on who we're doing it with and for,
mhm.
or whatever. Because I mean, I think that we can all have a bad day or whatever. It's just we just need to fucking vent, man. We got to get it out.
Right.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. At least I don't think so at all. Um, Especially if you feel that you're around friends that you can just kind of be yourself with, cool, do that. But bro, if all you do is just complain, 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 bro, like, and you have absolutely no objective in fixing anything,
Yeah.
I'm good on that shit. You can keep that shit to yourself, cousin.
You know what they call that? Because I'm actually doing a podcast about this tonight. It's called Loser Core.
Hmm.
It's called Loser Core. And it's a lot of spaces that are geared toward loser core. Like, a lot of the manosphere has a lot of loser core elements in it, where all it is just people sitting around commiserating about people they don't like, or how people are trying to get over them, or how somebody's screwing them over and stuff. And it's embracing elements of, I'm a loser, I'm the outcast, everybody hates me, and blah blah blah. And they never really get past that. And it's just
Right.
them complaining about everything that's in conjunction with it, like
Mhm.
injecting their misery into everything, you
Got
know.
it.
And here's the thing. I grew up as a black nerd in the 90s, bro. Before it was cool, before nerd was really a cool thing for a black person to be. You know what I'm saying? If you're talking about dealing with the outcast stuff and all the other stuff, yeah, I dealt with a lot of that. I also I also dealt with therapy and I got over a lot of stuff. Um, but some people are living in this era where everything is miserable and nothing is right. All the women hate them, and everything's against them and stuff like that. And then wondering why nothing good ever manifests in their life, because they're so focused on everything that they hate.
Yeah. Yeah, a bunch of incels.
That's exactly what it is. And incel culture is tied to that loser core thing.
Yeah.
They think it's cute to be online and post about, I don't get any women. Nobody cares about this, bro. Like, what are you doing to fix it? Well, I can't. I'm short and I don't have any money. There's lots of short, broke dudes with girls, bro. What are you doing to your life? What are you doing in your life, bro?
I know one right now.
So,
The dude is 33, I think 33, 34. A tiny little guy.
mhm,
And he lives in a whole group home. A group home, like literally, no joke.
yeah,
That dude can be broke as shit, but he keep a woman around him,
right.
or two, or three. Always keeps a woman around him. And you sit there and look like, how? And you like, I don't know. But he told me one day, he said, that is the one thing I will never be without is a woman.
Yeah,
Ever. And again, though, that dude broke his shit constantly. He
Yeah.
ain't talking about, and you know what? Females give him money constantly. Constant, man. Fuck out of here. Man, there's too many dudes. There's too many women out here who will give you money just to be giving it to you.
Well, and I think it's a lot of how he views himself
That
because
part.
because you know, yeah, all this stuff is working against him, but he doesn't necessarily view that as a limitation for him. He's just it's just a status of where he's at right now.
That part.
But what happens is it turns into, and this is kind of how my outline goes. It's like you start with I'm just a loser, and then it's like people are mean to me because I'm a loser. Then it turns into women are the problem. Then it's society is against me, and then it becomes all these other races are to blame, and that's how the pipeline goes. And so
Amen.
and so it's just it's like you don't have to stay in that place.
Right.
Just because you have a dim view of yourself doesn't mean that it's true. On one hand, the other side is, and if it is true, then fix it. Like,
Mhm.
get out and fix it. But when you just embrace being a loser as part of your badge, like who you are as a person, and you wonder why people don't want to associate with you. All you talk about is how big of a loser you are, and then you wonder why. Well, why don't they hang out with me? Well, I don't want to hang out with somebody like that, bro. I don't want to hang
Right.
out with somebody.
Right. And the question that I would ask that person if we were coaching is, would you want to hang out with you?
Yeah,
Like if you were talking, if you heard you and you were around you, would you want to hang out with you? You
that
know,
part.
and seriously, and sometimes it's a yes, sometimes it's a no. And again, if you keep saying, yeah, I would love to hang out with me, then find people who are like you.
Right.
That's it. Like find them. I mean, I don't know where you would find them, but I mean, sure, it's somewhere online. You know, looking for some. You know, but again, though, you have to state what your problem is in order to find your community. So if
Right.
my community is fuck, like if it's dads who matter, then cool, type that in, and you'll find a whole group of people who do that. You know, if you want to find people who complain about women, say men who are treated like shit or something like that, that's where you'll find them. So it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be the superfluous thing. It's going to be that underlining problem that you have. You know,
Right.
it's like being broke while dad or some shit like that.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to find your people at. Type that in, you'll find them. They're all over the goddamn place
Right.
or whatever. So like, yeah, no, I want to, you know, I love books, so I want to talk to people who sell books and who do uh who who are just involved with books.
Hmm.
I like books, right? I'm also a life coach who works with and coaches fathers who maybe feel like life is just kind of passing them by and they need to scream, shout, yell to get reacclimated with themselves. That's what I'm here for. So there's a couple different things that we're bringing to the proverbial table, but I'm staying in my lane.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not switch hitting and trying to go off and go into like your thing. Your thing is your thing. And that's a really fun thing too. If you remember when we first started doing this, like we were talking about it off the bat.
Hmm.
Like I don't want to do what you do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we talked about that early on. Like nah, like that's not my objective. I don't want to talk like I don't mind talking business to a certain degree, but that's not my thing.
Right.
Marketing and advertising is not my thing. That's your thing. And even if I did know a lot about that, I told you before, I'm sending them to you. I'll get the information, I'll write all the information down, I'll give you the information, and then you take it from there. But I'm not taking that because that's not a lane that I want to be in.
Right.
You know, my thing is, I mean, helping struggling fathers kind of push our envelope, push our shit forward. That's what I'm doing. That's my thing. And reading a good book while I'm doing it. Right? Hanging out with good people while we do it. So that's my thing. I can't speak on anybody else's shit.
Well, and I think it's, the idea of identifying is important too, and being comfortable in your lane too. Like, there's some people that, for them, the stuff that they're interested in, they think that is a negative mark on them. It's like, no, you just got to find people that fuck with you regardless. Find a community of people, a tribe of people that you connect with, like you said. And I think a lot of times people use that as a signifier of, well, I like Dungeons and Dragons, and everybody hates those people like Dungeons. No, there's plenty of people out there that mess with Dungeons and Dragons people. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Fearless, I guess.
Yeah.
I think, you find what you like, you find your lanes and occupy them, and are comfortable in it. Like, if you're involved, here's my thing. This might be off subject, but
Go ahead, man.
if you're involved with something that you feel is seedy or dirty, or you feel guilty about it, why are you involved in it?
Okay.
If you're involved with something that you're not necessarily proud of, then why are you involved in it?
Or at least why you talking about it to other people.
Right.
Keep that shit to yourself.
Keep it to yourself, but then also don't, if you're not happy with the thing that you're involved with to the point where you feel like it's limiting your opportunity to interact with people like a normal human being, then stop interacting with the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I guess, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, if your hobby is collecting dog shit and you're like, man, this dog shit makes my house stink, and people think it's weird, then and it makes you feel like you an outsider and stuff like that.
Stop talking to other people about your stuff.
Stop talking to other people about it.
You keep some shit to yourself.
Keep it to yourself. But if it makes you, if it doesn't bring you happiness, why are you doing it? Like, I just started picking up pieces of dog shit just because. Why? Why are you continuing to do this thing that you don't like? I feel like that on social media, bro. Like, how many times have you been on social media and you've seen somebody's account? All they are posting video clips and news clips and talking head segments of things that they don't like. And all they do is just things that piss them off. How often do we see that on social media?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, all social media is a gloom and doom. That's all you watch. That's all you have. That's what you trained your algorithm to deliver to you. Show me all the shit I don't like.
Right.
And then
no, I get that.
And so that's what I'm saying.
I have my algorithm is so weird, dude.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm into weird shit, so it doesn't bother me. But like, but what I like to do because of my algorithm, I like to send my shit to other people.
Yeah.
I like to jumpstart their algorithm.
The one part of
it looks like my algorithm, and then they'll hit me up like, bro, stop sending me shit because your stuff is messing up my.
The one part of my algorithm that I want to go away
man.
is I try everything in my being to avoid extraction videos.
What is that?
Where somebody's getting like a blackhead pulled out or like they're popping.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I cannot watch that shit.
I can't do that.
And I try to avoid that shit like the plague.
Yeah.
And it always falls into my feed. I do not want to see this. Do not show me this because it will mess me up for an entire day. It will absolutely destroy me for an entire day. Yeah, and there are people that sit around and watch. Like, I don't know how many times I blocked Dr. Pimple Popper. I blocked her stuff on so many different platforms in so many different ways, and people still put it in my, like, it'll still come across my algorithm. I don't want to see it.
Right. Yeah. Like, I don't care what you do. Like, she's the only person or one of the only people that I could think of that if she went out of business, I wouldn't give a fuck about it.
Yeah.
Like, if she ended up in a fucking homeless shelter, I would not care. Like, it's almost like that's where you belong.
Stop showing this to me.
Stop showing me shit. That's what you get. You and your whole fucking family, weirdos.
But
like, no, that just is weird, man. I can't do that, man.
But there's some people that actually enjoy that stuff, and that's fine. if that's what you enjoy. But if that thing makes you feel bad about yourself, then maybe just stop.
Yeah.
If your interests, like I said, if your interests lead to things that damage you emotionally or make you feel bad about yourself, you need to revise what your interests are and find new interests. Your interests, things that you're interested in, should make you feel happy or fulfill you in some way, shape, or form, or enhance your life. If all your
Mhm.
interests are deleterious to your existence, then you don't need to be doing it. Like
Mm.
I'm a current events junkie. I watch the news all the time. But there are times in the year where like I can't watch this negative shit. I'll turn off the news.
Right.
But I love current events. I talk politics all the time, but I can't watch. There are times where I'm like, I got to turn this off because this isn't right for my mental health. I turn it off. I
You know
don't
what?
keep leaning in on
Yeah. Yep. Yep. There's actually this young lady. Dude, she's an amazing storyteller, but she's on. I have her on Instagram, but she's always talking about like the black plight and slavery and this. I mean, it's always very, it's factual based, historically, factually based, but it's negative as fuck. And I'm like, bro, I can't watch that today.
it.
So
Yeah.
I'll see her and I'll just scroll up. So sometimes I can just sit and watch it, but sometimes, man, I gotta keep like, no, bro, like I'm like, you know what I'm saying, like, and then sometimes you know what I'll do.
Mhm.
Strange thing, I'll shut my phone off,
Yeah.
or I'll just go out of there in general, or I'll just start watching comedy. And so, because I like to laugh, and one of my favorites is between Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm. I will watch that shit for hours, just cracking up. Stuff that I know that I've already seen before, just so I can laugh. Because, my God, dude, like, I'm a black man in America.
Right.
You don't think I know how bad shit can get here? Like, I love what she talks about. I love being, I love learning something new because I'm a learner. I love learning.
Right.
But bro, calm the fuck down. Oh, like, can you tell me something positive? Some Mix some shit in with there. Again, even with the books that I read, the ones right up above me are philosophy and religion.
Hmm.
Okay, everything over there is science based, science, words, stuff like that. Behind me, you might see my television. There's a bookshelf behind there which has business stuff, all that type of stuff. Everywhere where you see the lights flashing
Hmm.
to my right, all those books are fictional books. The books that I have downstairs is just a miscellaneous of different books. So again, I cannot just read philosophy and religion because my life will be based on that.
Yeah.
Every conversation I will ever have will be based on that. Um, the next book that I plan to read is this one right here. Uh, John Grisham's
The client.
The Client. Yeah, because number one, I love John Grisham.
Hmm.
One of my favorite authors. Um, Great. Yeah, I love his books. I love his movies. Right, but and this one I just read this one, like I said last night at the beginning of the show. I read this one in one sitting last night. It was like 197 pages. It was absolute amazing book, amazing. And then before this one, I read two books. I finished two books in one day. So I read them just real quick. So I read this one right here, which is Us Against You,
Hmm.
which what I did not know, this is actually part two of a three-part series. I did not know that from this guy. I read this is my third book of his. And then as soon as I finished this one, I started this book right here and finished that one too. This book here was only 98 pages.
Hmm.
All right. And so this book is called Passing. There's also a thing on, I think, either Netflix or Hulu, and it's called Passing. It was okay. It was a pretty good book. If you watch the movie, they basically took everything out word for word from the book, put it in the movie. So like, yeah, there you go. So,
Yeah.
but so here's the thing. So these last two that I read are like race based, right?
Yeah.
Type books. I was going to read this one, The Secret Life of Bees, because I've heard about it for quite a while now. And I'm like, oh man, I should read that. And then I was like, nah, because then that again, it's more race stuff or whatever. So I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty sure this one is too, but this one's a little bit more like I like law type books anyway.
It's not as heavy.
It's not as heavy, or maybe it is. I just don't know it. But I like law type of books or whatever like that and stuff. So there's all types of stuff. So then I have this one right here, which I read, which was actually really good. So for anybody who likes to read, oh man, I gave this one a 3.8 out of 5. It was all right. There
Mhm.
was a lot of stuff here that I didn't know, but anytime a person says what was in the Bible, you should pick up this book because it tells you what's in the Bible and what's actually not there. So when people talk about abortion, when people talk about murder, when people talk about here it's how do we get the Bible? Um, the Bible says that the Bible is the Bible says the Bible is inspired. Um, does God ever lie? Does God say that slavery was wrong? Did God had a wife? Uh, rape, uh, stuff like that or whatever. Satan, homosexuality, women being covered up. Um, did Jesus ever say that he was God? What was actually the mark of the beast?
Mhm.
Sinners will be punished forever in hell. These are all the things that the book literally talks about. So again, I am all over the place because I cannot, like I told you before, I cannot just read one type of book. I have to read a multitude of books. Otherwise, I'll go insane.
Okay.
I'll,
Yeah.
I'll go insane. I have to, right? And then, not even mention that, I also subscribe to but the Book of the Month Club, where and I have like 5 openings. I've been with them for 3 years now, I think. So like we're like best friends now. Like they have this thing or whatever.
Mhm.
But when it comes to like reading, when it comes to books or whatever, that's my shit. Like when I go to like book talk and I look at the things that they're talking about, 40% of the books that they're talking about, I've already read them. Like, and now you might think, like, damn, 40%, that's not a lot. It actually is if
It
you think
is.
about books from a standpoint of how many books there are versus new, contemporary, classic, this and the other. I either have them or I've already read them. Everything up on top of those lights that you see flickering up there are all like they're all classic. So you'll have James Carville, what book he wrote, The Shogun. You'll have your boy, what's that dude, man? Um, he writes a lot of horror books. Actually, he did. I think he's there. H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah, Lovecraft.
Lovecraft got him up there. The Odyssey's up there. Um, the Dorian is actually in front of my house or whatever. That's the guy who took his picture and he can never age.
Oh, the Dorian Gray.
The Dorian Gray, yeah, that's over there. All of the Silence of the Lamb books, whatever, have them. I mean, you name it, I have a section for it. Like, but I cannot just read just one thing and stay there. Just like I can't watch one type of thing and just stay on that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
I need more than I I need an influx of something different.
Well, and to your point, you know, you can shift gears between what you're feeling, like what kind of mood you're in,
Sure,
based
yeah,
on what kind of book you are in.
yeah.
And that's I do think that a lot of people don't have that ability to amend their interests. I'm gonna say this and we can start wrapping up. Um,
So,
so one of the things I was really into, like one of the games I play a lot was Overwatch, right? And so there's a whole community online of content creators that were doing Overwatch related content with strategies and stuff, because there's a lot of strategy involved in the game. And so there was one that I was following called Blame the Controller. And so I'm sitting there listening to this dude, right? And I'm like, first I like this stuff, like I can connect with this stuff, but then slowly you can start seeing the pivot, because he started talking about he didn't like diverse in the Overwatch camp. And he didn't like the fact that there were gay people on Overwatch as players on Overwatch. And then he slowly starts spitting into anti-woke and against the SJWs and stuff. And instantly I'm like, I don't want to mainline this. And then he started a movie channel. And I'm like, and this, but I followed his TV and movie channel before I started picking up on the threads of where this dude was politically. And then instantly I start watching the movie, his little movie and TV show review. He always had an issue with the show with the black cast every single time, without fail. And, I know the big thing was Lovecraft Country. He didn't get aspects of the historic. He was mad because there was historical.
I have both books. I have both of them. So that's what I'm talking about. I have both of them.
Yeah.
I haven't read them, but I have them.
He was mad because of the historical racism presented in a show about black people in the 20s and 30s and 40s.
So what? He didn't think that it existed?
He didn't think that they should emphasize it, where the show is about black people living in segregation. He thought it was unnecessary.
About a black show. So I mean, that's almost like talking about the 1930s and 40s in Germany. You not mention who was actually running shit at that point,
and trying to explain, because he is sitting there, he's like, he didn't get the theme. And if you watch Lovecraft, if you've seen the show Lovecraft Country,
I haven't.
Okay, so basically it takes each, like once you get past the first group of episodes, each episode is a specific genre within the sci-fi or horror movie genre. And all of the genres are where black people aren't represented. And so each episode, like one's more of a slasher, one's more of a ghost story, one's more of a splatter movie. And so if you're familiar with the different subgenres within horror, they are actually doing those in like one episode is this, one episode is that. So you're jumping through different subgenres in the larger theme of horror. And so, but he didn't get it. Well, the tonality and blah, blah, blah. And then he didn't get some stuff that would be deliberately scary. Racialized violence would be deliberately scary, as a construct of telling the story. But it wasn't anything that was outside of what people's experiences were. And so, but he just didn't get any of it. And so listening to him, you could see that he always had a grudge. Like he always, like if there's a black character, he'd always mention, and I don't know why they needed to be, they felt like they needed to make this character woke. We know what that means. And so instantly I'm like, I'm off of this. I can't I started saying I'm starting to divest from this dude's content. Even though he's making stuff that I like, the little slips and stuff in there, it just puts it in my brain. I don't like it. It pisses me off and I don't want to listen to it. So I shift it away to somewhere else.
So I mean, as a when I look at that word, I guess within itself, woke, and correct me if I'm wrong, but every time I've looked it up, it basically means that you're calling out racism when you see it.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
That's how it's been since the Harlem Renaissance when this first started popping up. And for those that don't know,
so am I wrong?
Yeah.
That's what it is. So it's calling out racist or injustices when you see it.
Yeah. And that's what
saying, I'm woke to you. I acknowledge what's going on here, and you call it out. So when people say that I'm anti-woke, does that mean that it's not? Is it that they don't want to see it, or are they saying that that doesn't exist, that it's not there?
And that question is the question, because what it really is, it can mean any number of things. It can mean I don't believe in it. It can mean I don't care. It can mean I'm using a completely different version or a definition of this word that was created in modern think tanks and modern right-leaning think tanks, where we're going to take this word and turn it into something else and make it a pejorative, and then we're going to attribute that to everything we don't like culturally. You made it a culture war signifier, as opposed to when I tell people, like, Black people have been saying internally in our community, we've been saying the word woke to signify exactly what you're talking about. If you trace it back, it goes all the way back to, I think, Lead Belly and the blues singer Lead Belly and the Harlem, right before the Harlem Renaissance. We've been using that word for that long internally.
And even if you're not using that particular word, the definition has always been the same.
Yeah, for us, it's always been the same. But there's a and Rufo, like Chris Rufo, he's been one of the architects of this. He's a right wing, harsh right wing conservative. He's the one that was behind the entire DEI thing.
Oh,
and making that, spinning the public perception on that. And so their entire strategy is to take little bits and pieces of nomenclature and make it negative so that they can turn people against it really fast without really having an idea of what it actually means. And so what it actually is. And so
they're basically using our own, they're using our own words, not only against us, but because you're not going to go look it up yourself. Mm-hmm. They're giving you not only the word, but they're also telling you what the definition is, mm-hmm. or what their definition is, not the definition.
Yes.
Yeah. Their concept of the definition, and the fact that you're not going to go look that up, and they know you're not going to look that up, that you consistently keep pushing that agenda a tad bit further.
Yes.
What can I also can I liken this to when Black people were calling each other, or still some people still do, calling each other Uncle Tom. Mm-hmm. Like, so anytime you hear something derogatory and you call another Black man an Uncle Tom, that was supposed to be one of the most disparaging, the demonstrative things that you can say to another Black person, and we would get upset. We would get extremely offended by that. Mm-hmm. But when I sat down and I read Uncle Tom's Cabin, by the time when I was done with the book, I said to myself, I would love to be called an Uncle Tom. Because of the type of, number one, you can't blame the dude for being who and what he was based on where he lived at that particular moment in time. Right? But if you know how he died, you would be offended to not be called that. You know what I'm saying? To look at the way that the man lived, and how he died, like how he died and why he died. And more importantly, who he died for.
Right.
You would be like, how is it? And I also heard Louis Farrakhan once talk about that scene. He said there was nothing wrong with Uncle Tom. The problem is that y'all never read that book.
Right.
And then you started thinking that somebody else was downing you because somebody else, you never read it. If you go and read it and then you come back and you say that you still feel a particular way, then that's great, that we can have that conversation.
Right.
But if you never read it, shut the fuck up. Why would you call somebody something? Why would you disagree with something that you don't know about yourself?
Well, and I've read, yeah, I agree with that. And there's the other side, because my mom mentioned that.
But is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like that. Like, we were calling each other Uncle Toms for a derogatory type of thing. But if you actually go back and read that book, that was not derogatory at all.
Right.
It's derogatory that you never read the fucking book.
Well, and it's kind of the form and function of language and how language is used in the society. Where if you don't know the etymology or some of the history of some of these words that you're utilizing, and utilize if you don't if you're not aware of them, then you do make mistakes like that. And I think because my mom even mentioned that she's like, if you read Uncle Tom's Cabin, you know that that's not necessarily a put down. Now there is one put down that I'm not going to say, but there's a whole etymology behind that, and that's a marsupial woodland creature that we find around here a lot of times. Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
And there's actually a whole etymology behind that and where that comes from. The song Zip Coon. And how black people have utilized that internally, and then it gets used externally. It's two different things.
Right.
And so a lot of times it was used more or less to identify, like a Step and Fetch It who was being used, who was just like he was trying to scratch out a living for himself as an actor, but what he was doing, his creative output was being used to marginalize and hurt black people. And yeah, and so it was one of those things where
he was like the black Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah. And so
oh my God. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you see that Key and Peele? That Key and Peele thing when he was doing that?
I gotta look it up.
Dude, it was so good. And they were showing all these like videos and he was I'm sorry, mammy. And all that shit. The father was dead. They took that film and put it in the casket with him.
Yeah. Well, and when you look at it, it's kind of a tragic story because that's literally the only way that he could work.
Right.
That's the only way that he could pay his bills following the craft that he loved. And that's the only roles he could get. But at the same time, it was hurtful to black folks to advance that. And so what it is when we use that word internally, it's identifying somebody who's actually a threat to the rest of us. And is going to absolutely hurt us or collectively hurt us as individually or as a collective. And that's kind of what it is. But then when it gets outside of us, then it becomes something else. And so how's it going? And so that's what it is. And so a lot of times we end up falling down these rabbit holes. But anyway, I gotta wrap this thing up because I got a 1 o'clock. So
alrighty.
So stay tuned. Hopefully we'll be back. Hopefully next week I will have my tool kind of worked out so we can test it out a little bit better. And see what happens with it. I appreciate you guys tuning in, kind of listening to my little mental side quest that I took us on today.
No, it's good, man. So it was good stuff.
So I'm still building out the school community. I'm going to be launching it here this week. I may launch it without the tool because I already have enough content to launch it without the tool. The tool is just kind of the icing on the cake.
Okay.
If you're looking to monetize your skills, if you are in a job where you're like, I feel like I should be doing something else, and you want to learn how to make a little bit of side income for yourself, or even jump into business ownership and figuring out your pathway, or you just want to know what your bankable skills are so that you have a more powerful position in negotiating your salary, join the school community. Should I post a link for it? Because I'm not quite...
No. Okay. Wait till next week.
Yep.
And you know what? Another thing too, whatever. I think that's what we should talk about. Next week is negotiations.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, we can do that. We can absolutely do that. Talk about negotiating.
I mean, like, and the myth and some facts around it and some myths as well, because I think that if some of you try to negotiate, you're going to negotiate yourself right into the unemployment line. So we should probably kind of give you some tools, tips, and strategies on that one.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Okay, so next week's going to be negotiation.
There it is.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. I'm Brian.
Fearless.
Talk to y'all later.
Deuces.
Peace.